Have you ever found yourself with nothing to do and nowhere to be for days, weeks, or months at a time? In your mother's basement with no plans for the future, no hoes, and no money? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you, my friend, may very well be a bum. A freeloader, as some might say. You're basically a baby, and we all know what babies are, the biggest bums on earth. They literally just leech off of their parents. They have no jobs, no hoes, and no funds. When is the last time you've seen a baby post a money spread? Never. Look at this little nigga. He don't pay no bills sitting there all happy and shit, bro. Get a job. But as an adult, you have no right getting compared to a baby. At least they're dumb. But you're a fully functional adult human being and you're still bumming around. And that's okay. As long as you have plans to stop bumming around, because you know, slow motion is still motion. The issue arises when you have no plans to stop bumming, because that opens you up to so many things: obesity, chronic online disease, and crash outery. But one of these things is not like the others. When you're obese, just go to the gym, lose some weight. When you're online too much, just get off your damn phone. But when you're a crash out, that's not just a phase in your life. That is a mindset that sticks with you forever. You and death are officially locked in once you become a crash out. But what exactly is a crash out? When I searched the term in Oxford's dictionary, the result I was given was to lose a game with the result that you have to stop playing in a competition. But Oxford is dumb, because this is not what a crash out is. When I searched the term crash out in an actual real dictionary published by actual intellectuals, the result I saw was to go insane and or do something stupid. But what they forgot to add at the end was for absolutely no reason. Because once you become a crash out or a crash dummy, you need absolutely no reason to throw your life away. You're just ready to do whatever, whenever, and for whoever, but for nothing. Someone could look at you the wrong way, and now all of a sudden you're in prison. Someone could step on your shoes, now you're in prison again. An innocent McDonald's employee got your order wrong, you end up in prison a third time. But it doesn't matter what the situation is. The point is that it doesn't take much to crash out if you're already doing nothing with your life. You have literally nothing to lose. But crashing out is nothing new. People have been crashing out since the dawn of man, and I thought it would only make sense to let the uninformed know about the biggest crasher outers in history. But before I get into it, y'all should know the drill by now. Subscribe, or I may be forced to crash out on one of you watching. Pirates are inarguably the worst crash outs in human history. They were quite honestly just an organized gang of crash dummies. Unless you were the captain of a pirate ship, you were almost guaranteed to have no motion. A lot of these niggas were just your average Joe Smo with absolutely no money to their name and decided to join ocean gangs. Imagine how uneventful life has to be to decide to go randomly live on the ocean with a bunch of other grown men with no future. And as much as I love talking about One Piece on this channel, I am not talking about fictional pirates with devil fruit powers and triple Z bra sizes. I'm talking about actual real life pirates, the kind of niggas that do not care about overthrowing the world government and giving everybody freedom. The type of niggas that existed only to pillage, steal, burn down villages and towns and do some other unsavory things. These niggas were not Jake and the Neverland pirates. They were Captain Hook. But like, if Captain Hook wanted to kill Jake and his crew just to steal 5 shekels of silver, and out of those 5 shekels, 4 go to the captain. Like I said, if you were a regular crewman on one of these pirate ships, you're basically just fodder. These niggas were killing, pillaging, and stealing just to still live in squalor. They went from being poor on the side of the street to being poor in the middle of the ocean with no motivation other than to steal, kill, and give all the money to the niggas at the top. Sounds kinda like Forex if you ask me, but I digress. The things these niggas would do to people would be straight out of a horror book. And if they ever get caught, which that occurred a lot, because you know, realistically it's just a bunch of ragtag group of young men running around from trained soldiers. And again, this is not One Piece. When niggas got caught, they didn't go to Impel Down. They went to Impel 6 feet under. Not to mention, these niggas have no loyalty, not even to their own crews. Imagine how many of these scallywags left their homes behind to go out to sea just to end up walking the plank. And you might be thinking, these men could not possibly be crash outs. They were just dealt a bad hand. But there were no positives to being a pirate. They went out there with no money and no diseases and came back with no money and diseases. If they even came back at all. At some point with all these net negatives, these niggas set sail for literally no reason. But I don't blame them. There was probably nothing else to do. So why not be evil? Timothy Dexter is a name that comes up to me quite often when I think of the most bored, undriven, unmotivated, no goal having people in history. Don't get me wrong though, this man Timmy had money. So much money that he had built 2 statues of himself. And I know what you're thinking, how can he be a crash dummy and also be rich? Hold on a second. Timmy was rich but had no ambition. And how did he get all his money? He married an older woman who was recently widowed, then proceeded to take her money and start a business. This nigga practically hit the lottery. However, as soon as he and his wife started having marital issues, Timmy decided his best bet was to pretend she died. He still lived with her. He still was using her money, but he pretended she died. And he told her this too. It wasn't like a secret. He told her that she was dead. Classic gaslight gatekeep girl boss. That's not important. I just wanted to share that crazy story with you guys. What matters is that this nigga was a crash dummy for the rich. He didn't want to make money for the love of money. He wanted to make money so he can impress other rich people. And one day, to test how much he had impressed other rich people, he decided to fake his own funeral. And he watched the funeral to see who was mourning his death the most. When he saw that his wife was not mourning his death to his liking, he decided the best course of action was to beat her at his own funeral. This nigga may very well be the first and only person in history to not only assault somebody at his own funeral, but then to also die after his own funeral. One time, Timmy's big homies asked him to carry coal to Newcastle, which would be the equivalent of selling honey to a beehive. Timmy didn't care though. He was gonna do whatever them niggas told him. If they said jump, he would say how high. Luckily for him though, it worked out. He made even more money. This nigga really was out here filling upwards. Real life Captain Buggy. Next up is my inspiration for this entire video. Allow me to paint you a picture. You grew up in a nice home with 2 parents who love you, a nice family, a great school, and a very promising career in basketball. You would probably be in the NBA soon if you don't do anything stupid. It's real simple. Stay out of trouble and you make millions. Now that I've given you that background, can you guess who I'm talking about? I'll give you a second. The answer is both. LiAngelo Ball and Michael Williams have got to be two of the most logically unsound basketball players I've ever seen. The very definitions, the poster children for crashing out. Both of them almost threw their entire careers and lives away for absolutely nothing. LiAngelo Ball was on the 2016 Chino Hills squad. That's Lonzo and them. This nigga would definitely be in the NBA right now. He would have made it too if not for those meddling Louis Vuitton glasses. That man threw away a chance at millions to swipe one pair of glasses that I'm almost certain he would have been able to afford even before he made it to the NBA. That one decision left him permanently locked out of the NBA. He's really the best example as to why you should consider your options before you do something stupid. Don't get me wrong, he could probably still afford his Louis V glasses today. He for sure has more money than me, but that's not an accomplishment because I'm literally broke. Now for Mikey Williams, I'm not sure there's a worse way to crash out, apart from actual murder. But everything I said for LiAngelo applies to Mikey too, except Mikey seems to have gotten away with it scot-free, which really goes to prove that in America, the only thing that stands between a man and his dreams is absolutely nothing if you have enough money. Not even attempted murder could get this nigga locked up. And I guarantee if this were a regular, non-rich human being, he would be in prison right now with the booty warrior, waiting the end of his sentence. Don't crash out, kids. You don't have to be broke to be a crash out. This just goes to show that crash outs come in all different shapes, sizes, and tax brackets. Last up for today is another partial inspiration for this video topic. That is this dumb cop that got spooked by an acorn. I for one have no opinion on police. Some of them are good at their job, some of them are dumb and lack common sense, much like this nigga right here. He didn't know the difference between a gunshot and an acorn falling on metal. He was ready to murder about his acorn too. If he didn't have god-awful stormtrooper aiming, we'd all be seeing black squares on Instagram. Buddy let off 20 shots and managed to brick every single one, and then had the audacity to say that he was hit, as if somebody was shooting back at him. His lack of aim was the only thing that prevented that man from being turned into Swiss cheese. If even one of those shots connected, that cop would be in prison with the booty warrior too. And I may be exaggerating, but so was he. All that over one acorn? That honestly might be worse than doing it for no reason. And now that I've told you all this, you're probably wondering, how do I, a well-meaning civilian, avoid becoming a crash dummy? And it's very simple. All you have to do to not become one of the aforementioned crash dummies is have a brain. All you need to do is think critically in any given situation and you will never become a crash dummy. Also, try to avoid these niggas at all costs because they will turn you into a crash dummy. That's like their main trait. And then you're both going to be crash dummies in prison or crash dummies in the afterlife. It's really whatever. If you're at a gas station and the guy threatens your life over taking too long at the pump, remember you have goals and you have a future ahead of you, and he does not. He doesn't have the luxury. You have things to lose. He doesn't. If you don't remember these things, you're going to fall into a nigga moment. You never want that. So the next time you find yourself in a situation, just think.
Frick. Watch where you walking, bitch!
What did you... Wait a minute. I'm
a well-meaning citizen of the United States. I have goals and dreams. There is absolutely no reason as to why I should take this moment to participate in this man's ignorance. He clearly has nothing to lose.
That's going to be all for today, guys. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Today's like goal is 7. And if we don't meet the like goal within the next hour, I'm going to put myself in part 2 of this video. But with that being said, make sure you guys go outside, drink plenty of water, and have a nice day.